Let's talk about cribbage, shall we?
Are you going to play that game, Scrimmage, Scrabble, Cabbage? What's that game you're going to play?
Cribbage? Yeah, it's just, well, is it like horseshoes? I said, no, it's nothing like that.
I can't explain it. It's way too hard to explain.
I think it's just a card game, and it's for old people, but it really isn't.
Well, you're having a little race with these little pegs around the board.
Cribbage, whether it's cribbage, chess, ping pong, golf, you know, if it's something that can take your mind off the day's woes, it's almost therapeutic.
Well, I like to think, and I'm number oriented.
It's like this wonderful sort of duel. I mean, it's like a battle, but it's a civil, intellectual, mathematical jousting.
I wear my cribbage shirt sometimes from here, and you know, the people see it and like, cribbage, what's that? And
It's a game of enjoyment. It's also a game of misery if you want to cry about it.
it's a card game. It's a card game, and well, what's it like? And when they ask that question, that's when you've lost them, because it's really not like any other card game.
I've always liked games of all kinds, and particularly card games. It is, in my estimation, the best two-handed card game, certainly that I've ever played.
It's not a no-brainer game. It's I consider it the chess of cards.
Yeah, you have to explain what the game is to a lot of people.
There's something about cribbage players in their makeup that there's just their philosophy. They live long, they live fast, they laugh hard, and you know, they can't stop playing this game.
A grocery clerk can compete with a doctor on a game of cribbage. It doesn't matter what walk of life you're from.
And it's like a puzzle that you can continue to work on for a long time. You can put it down and you can pick it up again and see things that perhaps you hadn't seen before.
I call it inspiring. It's an inspirational game.
Very competitive.
Fantastic.
It's frustrating.
Exciting.
Confusing.
It's maddening.
Strategy.
Numbers.
In one word, social. It's a social thing. I like the interacting of the game.
I've been playing for 57 years.
I started playing cribbage with the American Cribbage Congress about 13 years ago.
I've been playing cribbage 40 years and tournaments for about 20.
I have been playing for 77 years.
I've played card games since I was a kid. I learned to play cribbage in Wisconsin at 10 at a summer camp.
My daddy.
Who taught you to play?
My father.
When, you know, back in the kids of the 60s, there were 3 TV channels, and if it wasn't, you know, at Disney on 7:30 or Bonanza at 8:30 on Sunday night, there really wasn't anything to watch. And my dad was a cribbage player.
I learned to play the game in college, believe it or not.
Yeah, I was actually taught by my grandfather. when I was like 5 years. I was playing cribbage when I was 5.
Well, my wife got me into the game, and sit around, drink a few beers, do a little fishing, play the game. She beat me up. I finally figured that I'm going to have to learn how to beat this because I don't like taking second to my wife.
I started playing in tournaments long after I learned the game. I learned from my grandparents.
My grandfather taught me how to play barroom cribbage.
Well, in my family, you learned to play games by standing at the edge of the table until your eyeballs could see over the edge of it. And then you took a chair and began to play. That was about age 6. So that's when I started, 62 years ago.
I was in the hospital and the guy in the bed next to me taught me.
My dad taught me and my brothers, probably 5, 6 years old.
My father, he taught me to play, along with ping pong and chess and everything else. And after using me as the whipping boy for the better part of 15 years, he started me at 6 years old. I got tired of losing, so I became a student of the game.
I'd say, Grandpa, let's play cribbage tonight. Not tonight, Jonesy. Not tonight, Jonesy. I said, Grandpa, how come we're not playing cribbage? He says, because you beat me and I'm a sore loser.
Well, first of all, you have to kind of be a game person.
We keep track of our score in a board that has little holes in it, and just moving one peg in front of the next. The back peg always being the one that's picked up and then pegged from the initial point.
But what makes it appealing is that you make choices. Every hand, you are making choices. There's an element of control there. Even though you're not going to win if you really don't get the cards most of the time. But you're making a choice.
There's 121 points to go from start to finish. The first person to get to 121 is the winner.
The game of cribbage was created by Sir John Suckling in England. An all-around scallywag, to use the parlance of the times. Anyhow, he would go around and teach people how to play this game. He would provide them with cards and a board, and he played a lot of his aristocratic friends, for he was aristocrat, as were they, and so he would take their money. It was felt that he was actually a millionaire as far as the wages that he earned from playing cribbage. But the unfortunate thing is that it didn't end so well for Sir John Suckling, for in his very last game he wagered everything that he owned, and he lost. He promptly got up, he congratulated his partner on a fine game of cribbage, and left. Went to his room, and he killed himself. And that's the history of cribbage.
A lot of card playing skills come into cribbage. There is luck factor involved with any game, any card game. There's always luck involved. But there is a good deal of card playing ability, just natural card playing ability, reading opponents, watching how they play, learning how they play.
In a normal game, every card you play from the very first card determines how you play the entire hand, and then tells you what your opponents have. So if you play the wrong card, the first card, you could screw up your whole hand, and it's a big difference. There's that much strategy in a game.
You strive to get the most points out of every hand, regardless poor or more, whether it's a poor hand or a good hand.
I can play 2 hands, tells me if the person has a pegging strategy at all.
When you play, do you have any kind of strategy? Do you think, do you play aggressively, or do you hold back, or what's your secret?
You have to play aggressive because you can't get all excited and stuff, because they'll know that you have a good hand and stuff, and then they know that you have a good hand, and there's only a little bit of really good hands, and they'll probably know what you have, and they'll know how to peg out.
And on any given day, anybody can beat anybody.
Well, we're here in Reno, Nevada at the Sands Regency Casino Hotel for the world's largest cribbage tournament. This event came to the Sands in 1986 or 87. Had I known how important that was going to be 20 years later, I would have paid better attention and kept better records. Not only is Saturday the world's largest cribbage tournament, but Friday, for example, Friday morning we did a tournament of 548 players.
The competition here is fast, it's concise. These people take it very seriously, and it's refreshing to be around people that I honestly think we have a few Mensa people here.
Tournaments are, as you can see looking around this tournament, cribbage has the most variety of people. If you walked in here and said, if you didn't know anything about cribbage, and you said, what is going on here today? What kind of convention is this? You see retired people, you see elderly people, you see blue collar, you see white collar, you see doctors, lawyers, millionaires, and they're all rolled into one. You look and you say, what is this group of? It's a group of people from every walk of life competing at a game that's incredible.
I roughly play 26 tournaments a year, and I play all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast. Basically, I can play 15 tournaments in the Midwest during the year, and I will pick up. I go 3 times to Reno. I'll go to Portland a couple times.
We played 93 games over the weekend.
If there's a tournament weekend, I probably put in 20, 25 hours a week.
I come to play tournament cribbage, and I've played it for over 30 years now, for the people, for the enjoyment, for the fun. If you come for anything but the fun, you're bound to go away disappointed most of the time. But you come for the fun, and if you win, that's frosting on the cake.
In your mind, between East Coast versus West Coast versus Midwest? I mean,
absolutely.
Let's talk about
I'm
that.
from Wisconsin. The Midwest is the best. Everybody, if you're from the West is the best. If you're from the East, there's so many competitive players.
The problem we're up against is we would like to attract younger players. We don't do it very well. I think we're doing it a little bit through our internet program.
In the early days, the women were really in the minority. Most men, still to this day, there are many men in cribbage that are not thrilled to be playing the women. Men think they're better at cards anyway, and then most of the men at some point, probably they could beat their wives, and so they thought of themselves as better than their wives. And you could go down a whole and play any tournament and they say, and I had to play 4 females today. I mean, they still say that.
One of our concerns for those of us that have been members for a period of time is that our membership is getting older and we're not bringing in enough new members to balance out those that are no longer playing. And so our biggest challenge, as I see it, is to involve more young people in the game and get them involved at the local level.
And so the truth is that the people that have the time, have the resources, don't have to ask for permission to go.
Sure.
Are those that are basically retired.
Well, I like to play cribbage, and I didn't have anybody to play with, so I found you could play online, and so I started playing online and played different people from all over the world. And one day I played somebody from the same town I was from, and that was him.
I won my husband playing cards. I tell people I won my husband in a card game. I met Warren at a cribbage tournament, and we became friends several years before we ever became romantically involved. But I absolutely guarantee you I never would have met the man if I hadn't been playing tournament cribbage.
And my sister married a cribbage player, and I married a cribbage player.
Does your wife support your habit?
No, we don't have a wife anymore because of it.
Between you two, who's the better player?
I can't answer that.
I have met people from retired college professors to unemployed auto mechanics who have scraped together the entry for a one-day shot. Some of these people have become my very good friends, and I'm not someone who takes the concept of friendship lightly. In addition, I've met scads of friendlies.
I think Phyllis Schmidt is about the best I've ever seen. She's from Massachusetts, and I played her a lot. The first tournament I won, I beat her in the playoffs, and I swore she put a curse on me for about 7 years. I couldn't win anything else. I begged her to lift it. She cheerfully said no.
My sister lives in Marshfield, Massachusetts, and it's a beach area. And her husband, over 20 years ago, in the 70s, started a summer cribbage tournament. And the people, they still do it to this day. If you live in that neighborhood between July 4th and Labor Day, you have to go and play 7 games against everybody that wants to. And this, teenage kids play, and my mother played until she died when she was 86. But this meant that the generations got to know each other. You went around to the houses within these 3 blocks, and you played 7 games with that person, and you had to get them in. And then on Labor Day, they have a parade for the 2 finalists. They've kept a score all the time. They have a parade, and they march down the street in front of my sister's house, and they end up at a dead end right at the beach, and they set up a table right by the beach with, you know, a umbrella and everything, and they play the finals. And you are the champion of Ocean Bluff for that year.
That poker hand is, I mean, it's 5 cards. And you can play it or fold. Cribbage doesn't offer that opportunity to fold. You got to play them no matter how bad they look.
There are a number of different combinations which are similar to poker. Straights, flushes, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind. But it adds a couple of things. It adds the concept of 31s and 15s, and the 31s is in that jousting, that pegging part of the game.
I play cribbage 10 times more than I play poker.
Why?
I'm not very good at poker. Not very lucky.
You can be a heck of a blackjack player and not have the foggiest notion what to do when a cribbage board's in front of you. So it's hard to get them to focus on a game that really requires some thinking, some brainstem stimulation.
We've got a fish here that hangs on the wall that looks just like a trophy mount. Drink a few beers with your buddies, tell them how the fishing story went. And after you get them waxed enough, you can take it off, set it down on your table, slide your fish ahead. Behind the fish is the box with your little components that you place into the hole. And we've designed this Budweiser proof, so the only peg that will fit in this hole is the proper peg. And these are actual slip bobbers that you use for fishing. And you flip your fish over, put it on your stabilizers, and then you place your pegs in the proper hole, and you're ready to play the game.
Can you keep a straight face?
Yes, sir.
Give me your straight face.
I can do.
There's a whole verbiage to the game, things like knobs, his heels, and everything else.
A cribbage widow is someone that cheerfully lets you go and do your thing, and that's the way we are.
You cannot get confused with the game rules. They will muggins you and you will lose the game.
Certain hands have names. A Raggedy Ann and a Raggedy Andy are two of them.
Ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny.
What's a muggins?
Muggins in it. Oh, yes, I forgot to tell you. Muggins is if you're counting your hand and you don't count some of the points that you earned. Then the person, they would say muggins, and if after they say muggins, after you take your peg, they say muggins, they get the points that you missed.
Okay, and they get the points that you didn't count.
Yeah.
I played this woman that was like 70 here in Reno. She was just an older woman, and she had 3 queens, and she called them snuff suckers. And I've never heard anybody else call queens snuff suckers. Kings are cowboys. Aces are bullets.
Never had a 29.
That
29 is the highest hand, very hard. What's it? I don't know, about 250,000 to 1 odds of getting one is quite high, whatever it is. And if you get one, you remember it.
Have you ever gotten a muggins on somebody?
Yes, sir.
Did you? What happened? Tell me about that.
Well, it felt really good because I'm usually the one getting muggins done since I'm younger.
When you win, what does it feel like to win?
The first, when I won the National Open, it was like, oh, it's happening, it's happening. I get goosebumps, and I see, I'm even talking about it, it's happening.
It's exciting for me to be at a championship table, making it all the way through a tournament, and having 100 people stand around and watch you, and being in the spotlight of a competitive game is awesome.
Tournament of Champions is an invite-only tournament. This was my first invite. It's the first time I qualified for the TOC.
And how'd you do?
I won! I won it.
What's it like when you beat your dad?
I feel real good.
And what's his response?
Dang it.
Well, there are 3 ways to play cribbage. You can play what they call kitchen cribbage, which is just with family and friends at home. You compete on your own levels. Sometimes you make up your own rules. It's just a great way to learn from your family, folks who play cribbage, and a great way to spend with friends. It's a great 2-person card game. And then there's organized cribbage, which means you pretty much join the National Association, which is called the American Cribbage Congress. And that allows you to play on 2 different levels. You can play on a grassroots level, which involves joining a local club and playing in local tournaments. And then you play on a national level with tournaments all over the country and really all over the world. And now we have internet cribbage, which has a lot of participation from people all over the world. You can either be a part of the National Association and play internet cribbage, or you don't have to be. You just have to have a willingness to play the game with other people who love how to play the game.
Grassroots cribbage is a shorter version, a 9-game version, no playoffs, but very competitive. It's the schooling tool that we use to get to a good tournament level.
Find someone that's patient and willing to show you the ins and outs. But you learn one part of the game at a time. You learn to play for your hand and not worry about the crib. Then you learn some fine points about the crib. Then you learn fine points about pegging. But you've got to play with people. And the more people that you can play with, the better you learn. That's why the grassroots clubs are so wonderful.
You learn from playing a lot of cribbage. You learn by making mistakes. You'll never learn by reading books. You can learn how to play the game, but you can't learn how to master the game.
I would strongly encourage anyone who has a familiarity with the game to check out the American Cribbage Carding's website.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't play any other game but cribbage.
In cribbage, there's all this strategy and it focuses only on 6 cards on each side of the board. The rest of the cards make no difference whatever. And that's the thing that makes it such an appealing game to me, is that how so much energy, so much that relates to strategy, so much that relates to decision making. They estimate that 400 decisions are made in the average game of cribbage.
Oh, I can tell you a lot of sad stories where I beat myself playing cribbage. I think we've all got those.
The first card you play is so important because if you play the wrong card, it sets the tone for the whole hand.
I'm more of a kitchen table cribbage player.
Sure.
I like to invite people over and just play games. I don't like to go to someone's house and sit and stare at a movie. Why would you do that? Or just stare at the television?
Cribbage is part of it. It ties us together. It's something to do, you know. And I'm not a big TV fan, so I'll just, whenever I have a party, I unplug the TV. I want people to talk and to communicate and get together.
We go into a park, and if we're going to be there a week or two, we put up a sign. Wednesday afternoon at 1 o'clock, we're going to teach cribbage. If you play, come and play with us. If you don't, come and learn how.
That's cribbage. I mean, it's so frustrating, and then you're so stupid one day and so smart the next.
George Rasmussen from Napavine, Washington.
My name is Joan, and I'm from Hartford, Connecticut.
My name is Cy Madrone, and I'm from the Planet Enron.
Oh, really?
Actually, Santa Barbara, California.
My name's Susie Kilgo. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
My name is Martha Fingleton. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
My name is Alan Lindner. I'm from Greenwood, Wisconsin.
I'm Nancy Wanke.
Catherine Perkins, and I currently live in Bear Creek, North Carolina.
Keith Widener, Clemens, North Carolina.
I'm Zach Widener, Clemens, North Carolina.
My name is Betty Stuart, and I'm from Sutherland, Oregon.
I'm Dave O'Neill. I'm co-director of Grassroots Club 119 in Marietta, Georgia.
Well, we're going to first start with my name, because it's Rosemary Curley Glendon Jr., named after my mother.
Bill Cooper from Savannah, Georgia.
I am from Youngsville, North Carolina, and my name is Joseph Mark Hooker.
Joan Lee, and I'm from Mountain View.
Okay.
I'm Jim Crawford, and I'm also from Mountain View.
Rick Bryan, I'm from Darrettsville, Maryland.
Let's talk about cribbage.
Okay, what would you like to know about cribbage?
I'm Mike Burns. I'm from St. Cloud, Minnesota, US of A. It's right smack dab in the middle of the state of Minnesota. It's winter time now and we're cold, so what the heck are you gonna do except go play cribbage?
Woman kept saying, what does it feel like? Oh, and it's very thrilling, it's very exciting. And then she said afterwards, she says, well, off the record. I says, I'll tell you what, it's better than sex.
My initial thing is I want to say, I hate cribbage.